And on the go with SyncBank.
Boundaries. It's not just for people, it's also important for our dogs. Canine Coach is here now to tell us how we can teach and enforce those boundaries.
Okay, for this week's segment of Canine Coach, we're going to talk about indoor boundaries. In a house, if you have a doggy and you don't want them to go from one room to another room, how to set up a simple little line on the floor and teach them with a little correction of how not to go in that room. This is Rebecca, and this is her sweet little puppy here, Molly, who's a 8-month-old husky. And she's learning her lessons now. One of our easiest ways to train this is take her down and come back this way if you would. Rebecca's going to take her on a little short walk. She's going to turn around and she's going to come back. And now as Rebecca approaches this room here where this line is, stop there and give a tug back. Now you can see she already sat down. That is great. We have practiced this. Now she's put herself in a lay down and stay. That's the ultimate right there. Because what this room that we're going to show you in a moment is, it's an art studio. She doesn't need to come in here, but yet she needs to pay attention to her family being in here, so she can lay down out here, do a downstay for an hour or 2 hours at a time, and just wait and be a perfect girl. Now, the reason we didn't want her to come into this room, look what we have here. We have an art studio with the paints being on the floor. This is Jason.
Well, hello.
And he paints in this studio. He does different types of paintings, and some of those involve leaving these buckets of paint open so he can quickly get into them. Now, that would be a disaster if Molly came in while that was happening. So that's why we're teaching her the boundary lines. And Jason, like you're standing here and you're painting every now and then, the best thing to do is turn and acknowledge her. Tell her, good girl, good stay out there. Now, what would you do if she did come in here? Remember, you've got the shaker can to get her.
I've got the shaker can.
Right, we taught her with the shaker can, which is the no-no can with pennies. If she comes in here, you'd give her a little shake of that. We also taught you about the air horn method. If she comes in here, we toot a little air horn at her. What that is that's just the penalty. If she did come in, there has to be a little bit of a penalty for coming in. And she's on the leash learning this right now. Our ultimate goal, of course, is there's not going to be a leash on her. So you saw right now with Rebecca, how's she working? Is she coming out pretty good?
She's doing good. She's doing great.
Great. Thanks a lot for letting me come in your studio today.
Appreciate it.
One more thing we want to talk about the indoor boundaries is a kitchen. You know, everybody has a kitchen. Not everybody has an art studio in their house. So at your kitchen boundary, if you have tile that changes the carpet or vice versa, you might not have to put the line down, but I went ahead and put down the blue line here. This means she cannot cross this line. Rebecca, once again, has been working with her this week on crossing this boundary line. Let's say you want to come in and get something out of the kitchen now. You would tell her to stay or get back and go do your thing. If she comes in, you would penalize her with our shaker can and take her back out and place her outside. So that way, when you're in here cooking, Molly can spend an hour doing a downstay watching her favorite person do the cooking. So once again, indoor boundaries can be just about anywhere. The baby's room, don't run out of the garage. If you have a garage door that's open a lot, you can set it to where, you know, the blue line where the garage door is. Very important your dogs don't run out either.